What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Who's the Master? We got another House of Dragons post show for you. Talking about that episode 5. It just went down. And we got the regular crew in here to talk about it. We got me, Shogun Singh. We got our boy Cleezy. And we got V-Dub back this week. How you doing, V-Dub?
I'm always Gucci, baby. Always Gucci. Glad to be here.
We missed you last week, man.
I know, man. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah. We had a good show without
whiskey,
you, though.
Whichever one it is.
Yeah. We had a good show without you, though, so I had us thinking for a little while. We were like,
sure y'all did. Sure y'all did. Y'all needed me here.
Yeah.
You sound like I did. I was like, hey, things just aren't the same if I'm not around when I wasn't around. But I understand.
Yo, I'm hyped to talk about this episode, fellas. Let's get into it. All right? So let's start at the top, man. Scene 1, right at the jump, for the first time, we meet the often talked about Lady Rhea, right? She's on her horse, she's riding around, and Daemon decides he's going to show up and file for divorce the medieval way, the old school way. No paperwork, just get it done yourself, man. No lawyer fees, no nothing.
Property.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't got to worry about nothing, dog. What y'all think about that first scene?
Well, I'll tell you.
Go ahead, Vince. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was as brutal as ever. I mean, Daemon is that dude to me. I mean, he doesn't take it. All he does is give it. And in that first scene, that's exactly what he did. He brought it, bro. Yeah. Now, in my opinion, and I think, you guys may differ, when he picked the rock up, I thought, hey, he's about to end it for her. I mean, did you guys think the exact same thing? Do you think that he killed her in that shot?
Well, I mean, it alluded to it, but I think that they kept it vague for a reason. Like Game of Thrones, they have no problem showing people get killed in the most brutal way. When he killed the crab feeder, showed his entrails and all that stuff. And, even in the original show, when the Viper got his head crushed in, I think that they alluded to that he did it, but I think they kept it open to say maybe because they didn't show him actually cause the horse to do it. If you watch the scene, there's a little bit of ambiguity there, and I think they did that on purpose. But
Go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, good. I'm good.
I'd say Robert Baratheon's brother, Stannis, when he died, they didn't show him die.
Yeah, but that was that's a little different. They actually show her swing him against the tree and her swinging at the tree. This is just showing him pick up a knife, and then they did a jump cut to a fish getting cut.
I just thought that rock was pretty much all I needed to jump to the point there. I think he killed her. And that made me wonder, what was his motivation? Did you guys have a theory on what his motivation was for killing her?
Yeah, I have a theory, man. I think that he wants Rhaenyra, man. I think that he is married. Last time he talked to her, she mentioned his wife, and he was like, forget the bronze bee and all that other stuff. So, and that's why, it was kind of funny that, everything that he said about her got back to her. So she just basically, said everything that he said, like, you would rather sleep with the sheep or you can sleep with the sheep. I don't want to sleep with you anyways. Yeah. And I think he did that to get out the way so he can marry Rhaenyra.
Which, by the way, he made her sound like she was this ugly, hairy biatch. And she looked pretty normal, Yeah, so it shows that he didn't have any love for her. No way. And obviously, he proved it at the end because I think he killed that bitch.
Yeah.
He didn't just pick up that rock. What are you doing? He collecting rocks? Yeah. Going back home at his rock collection?
You
got pet rocks at home, man?
Skip the rocks in the water, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a big ass rock.
That rock, man.
That wasn't no skip, bro.
Yeah, it's skipping off her skull. That's what it's skipping off of. It's not skipping off water.
It may have been for the dragon. Who knows, man? There's a lot of things we don't know about.
Yeah. Nah, he some people kick rocks. He throws them at people's heads.
Yeah.
Ain't no kicking rocks. He kicking her head. So then we got scene 2 coming up. Scene 2 comes up, and we get the scene after Otto's been dismissed. He's been relieved of his duties, and Alicent's coming up crying. She's like, I didn't know it would go down like that, Pops. Don't be blaming me, Pops. And then Pops basically, Otto decides he's going to tell Alicent, hey, listen, you know why I'm doing this, right, fam? I'm doing it for you. Because Rhaenyra, when she becomes queen, what's going to stop her from killing your kids? You're in a bad spot, and I'm looking out for you. And now my takeaway from that was, who put her in that spot? You're the one that told her to put on the dress and go screw the king and have
put
kids.
on your mother's dress.
Yeah, put on your mother's dress and screw the king and get some babies in that oven. fam.
Yeah, look as grown up as you
Yeah.
possibly can.
And now he's all like, "You're in a bad spot. I'm just looking out for you." It's like, yo, you put her in that spot. I don't know. Like that's how it came to me. What'd you guys think?
Well, me personally, I think that he was telling her the truth. Regardless of what happened in the past, hey, if Rhaenyra gets it in her head that her brother's a threat, her brother's life is in danger. If that life's in danger, your life's in danger too. So I think he was really trying to people up on game.
I disagree with that, Vince. I completely disagree with that.
Guys. Looks like we have our first ever official Shogun Showdown. All right.
Well, tell me why you disagree. I want to hear this one.
Yeah. Hey, listen. We all know I'm the king of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and sit back here and signal to start this contest. Draw your swords, gentlemen, and let's see who the better man is with your theories.
I mean, it just doesn't fit the profile. You know, if Targaryens were going to just start killing each other, you know, for the throne before the Dance of the Dragons, obviously, you know, that's what we're talking about. Daemon could have just killed Rhaenyra. He likes Rhaenyra. You know what I'm saying? She may grow up to like
Rhaenyra. We're talking
no,
about
listen, what I'm saying is there's no precedent. There's no precedent set for it. Okay, you got Corlys Targaryen's wife, the Targaryen girl. She was going to be the heir, and then they let Viserys be the heir. That didn't start a war. You know what I'm saying? I think the dad is just poisoning the well just to get his son in there because there's no precedent set for it, and we know behind closed doors that he's done all this other stuff. Like, what's the difference? What's the difference, Vince?
Well, hold on. You're saying there's no precedent. There doesn't have to be a precedent. What I can tell you is the real precedent is that this has never happened before. We haven't had a woman on the throne. So what he said is, soon as that woman gets the power, I mean, the kingdom is going to be split. And you have a son that this queen is not going to appreciate being looking over her shoulder, telling her kind of being there, and the people in the realm are going to have his back and his support. So Pops is telling her, hey, you better be looking out for you and your kid, because if you don't, you're going to get your throat slit.
I don't agree with that. Let me just say one thing. I don't agree with that. They got the power. It's just like Daemon told her last episode. When she watched that play, they were like, oh, we want the male king and stuff like that. And she was like, they'll never accept me. Daemon was like, no, you're the queen. What are they going to do? They can't do anything but complain.
This
they didn't want to bend to me.
Based on what are they going to do? That's what the show's about. You can't have the woman king right now.
The
people not ready for it. You heard.
You know what? Here's the thing, though.
No, let me say something. Let me say something real quick. Last thing I'm going to say.
The Shogun not over with.
No. Let me say the last thing I'm going to say. The opening scroll, so I'll scroll to this show, said the only thing that could tear the Targaryen Empire apart are Targaryens themselves. All that other stuff, this is Daemon's whole point to his brother. This is why he has contempt towards his brother. All that other stuff doesn't matter. All that matters is they have the power, they have the dragons. If they fight, Jay-Z said it best, everything's bad when the family feuds. She's in a winning position. The dad's just someone that sows a deceit right there. That's just my opinion.
Well, let me say one last thing. Now, we've already had, because her auntie, or the king's cousin, pretty much told the queen that never was, has already told her, they'll never accept a woman. Understand your place. This shit is going down. I know you don't think that you're not going to be queen. You believe that this here is something you can ascend to. I'm telling you, the realm will not accept you at this moment. So she's already been put up on game by another relative, a Targaryen, and now her daddy is telling her the same thing. I think what they just told her were facts.
All right, hold up.
No.
I'm gonna say this. Historically speaking, Vince isn't wrong. It's all hypothetical. We don't know, right? If she became queen, would she put the kids to death? Usually, what happens, historically speaking. With that being said, he's the one that started this whole thing. He's the one that put her in the position to have those kids and become the queen and have them be potential threats to Rhaenyra's throne. She was already named heir by the time he got his daughter to go screw the king, right? So, yeah, maybe he's really spitting game. He's putting her on the truth. But the reality of the situation is, this whole situation was by his own making, and he knew that going in, and he's still playing games, right? Playing games with his daughter.
That's true, though. Not denying
that's
anything.
That's true, too. I'm not knocking that. I just think that the people with the power, he said it, the power is in the dragons. They have the dragons in the story. I think that's it.
All that other playing games, Otto. That's what we're trying to say.
All that other stuff, they could have rebelled plenty of times. They never rebelled because them damn dragons would just blow them up. End of story. That's Damon's whole point. But go ahead.
All right. Shogun Showdown went down. I'm going to call this a draw.
What?
You guys both made excellent points.
I won that easily, bro.
I won that going away.
Hey,
Heavy is the head that wears the
king has
crown,
spoken.
man. I need to wear the crown, so.
All right, the Emperor's spoken. All right, so speaking of playing games, scene 3, we get Laris the Clubfoot. Now he's finally started playing games. We've seen him before. We've seen him listening to a conversation, sitting down with the ladies because he knows who's got the gossip. The ladies got the gossip, of course.
Got the gossip.
And we know if anybody's read the material, they know that Laris is the whisperer of this era, and so we finally get to see him do some whispering. We get to see him do some talking. He goes up to Alicent and he starts playing some games. What did you guys take away from this scene?
I think that he made his move. He's playing on his chessboard. He feels as though, like Vince, the misogynist that he is, that a woman can't be king, and that they're gonna have the kids come in, and Aegon or whatever the kid's gonna be the king. He's playing for his position.
Vince, what about you?
Well, I think his motivation is really to get in good with the queen. He's around there. He knows what's going on with the king. He knows the king is sick. He knows that dude's gonna be out of here in just a couple of episodes. So he pretty much takes it. I'm gonna get in with the queen. The queen's bearing the natural male heir. So if I get myself here, who knows? I might be hand one day. So I think he's playing his hand. He's doing a little finger job on us. So yeah, I think his motivation is pretty obvious.
All right. So here's the thing. I think he's making his move because I think this is the best way for him to get his fit in. This is the best way for him to get in with somebody. Because the Hightowers, they aren't Targaryens, they aren't Valerians, they're not from old Valyria. So if he's going to try to get in with the regime, it's going to be with a Hightower as the queen, right? Yeah. And with her kids. So I think he's just making the smart play. He's like, I can get in here, I can eat here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back these people. And I'm going to start, very much like Littlefinger starts the whole Game of Thrones. He throws out that first match, talks about the tea. He spills tea. The dude's spilling tea is what he's doing, right? So spilling tea on the tea, and that's what, as we see, gets the ball rolling for the first time, really. So I guess you could argue that Otto did it when he got Alicent to go whore herself out, but he's the one that starts the second match being lit. All right, so in the fourth scene, Corlys dropped. So we get the Corlys and Viserys scene. Viserys goes to go visit Corlys and his family and the Valerians to go ahead and officially offer the proposed marriage between Rhaenyra and Corlys' son, Lenor. Yeah, Lenor. So, what did you guys think about this scene?
It harkens back to the first episode of Game of Thrones where the Starks were doing their duty and welcomed them, and the brother was like, "Yo, come to my throne room. I'm just chilling, waiting for you," or whatever. It was so disrespectful, but it was an interesting scene. Besides that part right there.
Yeah, obvious disrespect being thrown. Obvious disrespect. Doesn't come out to go meet the old man. We do see his daughter's grown up now. She's now no longer 12. She goes out to meet him. I wonder if he was thinking, "Damn, she ain't looking bad now. Maybe I should."
That's what Edie was thinking.
Maybe I should have invested early. What did you say, Vince? What was that?
That's what he would have been thinking.
That's cold-blooded, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys, man. This here was ultimate disrespect. He pretty much could have just took his glove off and just slapped him across the face a couple of times for everybody to see. I'm the king. You don't even come meet me at my ship. I gotta come walking up to you. Oh, dude, no. This here is straight up trash.
Not only that, but when the king comes in, he's seated at his throne. Now he does eventually get up and bow and all that. He does play polite, but he makes sure the king sees him on the throne when he walks in. And saying, you ain't a king here, motherfucker.
Just like Daemon walked in with his crown. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Viserys gets disrespected so much, man.
Nobody respects his power, man. Nobody respects his power.
Oh, no, they respect his power because eventually, right after that disrespect, what do? They get on that knee. They get on that knee real fast.
Yeah, but they don't seem sincere to me. It's like, we know we got to do this. But we want you to see where we want you to see where we're at first, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do the formalities. Now, of course, he does propose a marriage, but I think the main takeaway from that scene is while the Valerians are, first of all, they had their back and forth about who's the last name what last name are the kids gonna have? Viserys finally puts his foot down on that one. It's like, hey, listen,
I am the Iron Throne.
yeah, but I'll compromise with you. When they're born, they can be Valyrian, but as soon as they get on the Iron Throne, they are Targaryen. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway from the scene is Heltha's fail. That's this whole thing. Yeah, we got the nice back and forth between the scene and the proposed marriage, but the main thing it's illustrating to me is that this dude he's on his last legs, and now it's becoming visible for other people to see. They didn't know this before, but now they're seeing the signs, right? And now it's inescapable. All right, anything else you guys got to add about this scene?
Well, yeah. Not this scene, but probably the scene adjacent to it where Rhaenyra and Lenore are walking on the beach. I like how they both know where they're at. You know, he's obviously, not into her. And they're like, hey, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. We understand this is a political arrangement, and let's just move forward with that. I like the fact that it wasn't any, cat and mouse games or someone putting up a front. They both were up front with each other, and they know the game. They know the game, and they're going to play it. They know the roles, put it that way.
All right, so let's go to the next scene. Shouts to E on this one for coming up with this name. Because as we know, in Game of Thrones, when you unite and you do things that make you legendary, sometimes you get a name. For example, Sir Duncan the Tall from Duncan in the End. Yeah. We had the Mountain, right? Well, now we got a knight with a name that E brought forward. We got Sir Criston the Cuck. Sir Criston the Cuck shows up in this scene, cucking it up left and right.
Cucking it up.
All right, Allison calls him in. She calls him in because she wants to get the 401. She wants to find out for sure.
Well, hold up. Before we get to that,
right,
let's talk about Rhaenyra and him, because that was very important. How he tried to get her to run away.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's right. I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. You're right. Yeah. So they're on the boat, and he's like, "Run away with me. Come with me." Listen to this guy's sales pitch. Like, listen. All right, hear me out. I know you about to be the queen and rule an entire kingdom, but have you ever had oranges? Because I know a place that's got some great oranges, man. Yeah, like right off the boat, fresh off the boat, oranges. You never had anything like them. So how about you say, screw all that crowd noise, and let's go eat some oranges. What do you say? And she's like, get the fuck out of my face. Oranges? What the hell are you talking about, man? I'm about to be the queen. You want me to go eat oranges? Oranges, fam? That's the best you would come up with? He ain't that great. All right, that's what I took away from that. I mean, she's basically like, she should just laugh in his face. Like, are you serious? Are you being for real?
She kind of did laugh in his face. She smiled and said, hey, let's keep it the same. He's like, well, do you want me just to be your side piece or whatever he said, your whore?
Yeah. Like, yes, you're a side piece of the queen, homeboy.
I don't see why he wasn't happy with that. Me personally, I didn't understand his he wanted more. I mean, dude, you are the side piece of the queen. There's some value to that.
He's a fake Ned Stark without knowing when to lose your honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone talks about Ned Stark and his honor, but Ned Stark knew how to keep secrets, and he knew what was important and what wasn't important. And this dude is just a moron.
He's a moron. I think we all agree.
He's dumb as hell, man. He dumb as hell. I mean, listen, I understand. You're right. He did get put in a bad spot. He did get seduced. He did lose his chastity and break his vows. And some nights, that's an important thing. And so you feel some type of way, right? He lost his V card. He'd probably be in a little bit simpish because he lost his V card. Hey, listen, we all been there. Some of us actually been there. Not all of us have been there, but some of them, some people lose their V card that first goal and they get simped out, and then they learn their lesson and they learn how not to be simps and they move on. He probably lost his V card to that girl, got a little simpish. But get over it, homie. She's about to be the queen. She don't want your oranges. Get out of here with your orange. Orange have an ass.
I think Pops said it best in Boomerang. Hey man, Criston, that dude is funny. You gotta reverse it. You gotta flip it. You gotta whip that.
You gotta coordinate.
Obviously that dude was whipped, man. He was whipped. He was whipped so bad, like you say. He talking. You talking oranges? Oranges, dude. I got the 7 kingdoms. The 7 kingdoms.
Leave it all behind. You can come have some fresh oranges.
I get to fly on a dragon. All this stuff.
I recreationally fly dragons. How you gonna compete with that, bro?
Yo, okay, listen. I know there's probably some people that are on here that are big Fresh and Fit fans. You know, I know a lot of you listen to that red pill nonsense on YouTube, trying to spit games. And listen, I'm not trying to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm not trying to tell you how to hit on girls and how not to hit on girls. I'm just telling you, when you come with game, you need to come a little bit better than oranges. All right? I think we can all agree with that. Like, that's the weakest game I've ever heard in my life. Fresh orange.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Might as well come with that dick in the box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That'd be better than
I
orange.
think it's worse than dick in a box. I think it's worse.
That is worse. This is the worst. Yeah, it was a horrible pitch. It was a horrible thing. And she thought about it for a second. She was just like, "How can I let him down without exposing my cover?"
She turns her back. She gets all contemplative. Like she's really needs to think that hard. Like she's not thinking hard. Like as soon as he said, "Come run away with me and be a nobody," she was like, "Yeah, you can be a nobody."
Then to see him storm off, I mean, my assumption was he was about to go find a bathroom somewhere and sit down to pee. You know, I mean, it was utterly ridiculous. I mean, he just looked like he was just so hard. And then he just walks out. I'm like, what the hell? Come on, man, you're a knight, dude.
She should have cut his ass right there. She should have been like, listen, all right, we're going to find you another position. You know? It's not, there's no hashtag me too for
have to kill him. The only thing she could do is kill him in that situation. That's the only thing. That's the only choice she had.
She can move him. He can go be a knight.
And then as soon as they find out her personal bodyguards moved, the way they're following her and stuff like that, they're going to send someone to interrogate him. Yeah. But yeah,
that's the cuck. But now, of course, that's gonna come back and bite her, as we all know. So the next scene, we got Viserys laying in bed. He's got leprosy, is what I think you guys confirmed. That you looked up that's what he's got. His arm looks like it's about to fall off. It looks like it's a corpse of an arm. They're gonna leech him again. That's so disgusting.
Those leeches, dude.
Yeah, man.
Leeches and maggots, right? It's leeches and maggots, right?
I'm just gonna say this. Like, listen, we know I'm Indian, and we know I'm a disappointment to my parents because I couldn't be a doctor. With that being said, it would be a lot easier to take that test if shit like leeching was an option. You know, I wouldn't have had to study too hard. I just like, oh yeah, you got a cold, just leech them. Put some leeches on it. We're done. Go home, right? But he does ask an interesting question. He's like, what do you think my legacy will be? And I just thought your legacy is that you can be a chump because you're a chump king. You're a weak king. I've always this Viserys. I think the actor's doing a great job. The actor is phenomenal. But as far as the character goes, I can't stand this king, man. He's such a weak king to me. I cannot stand Viserys as a king.
I like Viserys, man. I like Viserys a lot, man. I'm sorry. I like Viserys.
He's a nice guy. Not a good king.
What do you like about him? You gotta expound on this. What do you like about him?
Viserys, to me, he stands his ground. Everyone thinks he doesn't, but I think he does stand his ground.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the same dude last episode was about to fall out in tears when he was trying to kill an animal. You know, I mean.
Oh yeah, we seen puking on a boat. I see this guy getting motion sick on a boat. I'm like, why you got no stomach, man?
That was two episodes ago. With the white stag, and I don't think he looked at it like, oh my God, it's a hunt. I got to kill this stag. I'm gonna cry. I think that showed that how weak he was. I think that was the first time that everyone around saw that he's sick. I think that more was like a physical because he was breathing heavy. I think that was more of a physical thing as opposed to a mental thing. He knew, like, come on, man, the dude's a king. He rode the biggest.
They had to tell him where to aim. They'd be like, no, you gotta move the spear over a little bit. You got this. You got this, man. You just move it over a little bit.
For a fact that they're trying to present him to be weak. I don't know how you're not.
No. He was presented as being weak. I think they're kind of rewriting it. Last episode to me let all that weak stuff out there.
He does have his moments.
Last episode, he to me completely eradicated that for me. He punked his daughter. He punked his son. He fired the High Tower. He pretty much checked the Queen. All the other stuff. He kind of knew everything was on there. The dude who was before him was considered the king of peace. He just doesn't want to be the king of war. So let's say that he sides with Daemon. He's a king of war. Let's say he decides with the High Tower. I just think he's in a bad situation.
Here's the thing, though. We agreed on this last week, remember? Yeah, he fired the king. But why did he fire the king? Because Rhaenyra put her foot down. Because he didn't fire his hand. I'm sorry, fired his hand. Yeah, because Rhaenyra put her foot down. That's why.
He realized, there was the scene where he was sleeping with Alicent. He realized that she wasn't into it at all. Remember, he had that conversation with her. Saying like, while he's hitting, like, this is your duty and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think everything got put into.
But his crystal clear moment was when she called him out. She's like, "You want me to do my duty, but what about your duty? You have a hand that is clearly plotting for his own benefit." and you're letting him stay on the council. What are you doing? And you see the look on his face, and he's like, "Shit, you got me
Facts.
there." You know, like
Yeah,
you spin facts. Like I can't say nothing. I got nothing to say. And so it took her. I think they've showed it over and over again. She's got what it takes to rule, and they've juxtaposed it to him and his weak decisions and his necessity to be peaceful.
What weak decision has
He wants to be peaceful. He wants compromise, and he pushes for compromise. But sometimes you got to make tough decisions, and he can't make those decisions.
What tough decision could he have made that would make you two happy?
I mean, once again,
He could
not
have
having
snuffed
to
out
be
that
pushed.
Crab King early in the episodes.
There you go. That's another one. Yeah.
He was advised not to.
No, but he takes advice. He takes the easy way out. He doesn't ever go for the tough decisions. With his brother, once again, you could have put stop to Damon early. You know?
No one's stopping Damon, dog. Come on.
Because he won't put a stop to it because Damon doesn't respect him. Damon doesn't respect him because Damon thinks he's weak.
Damon respects his brother, bro.
I disagree, but we don't want to take
respects his brother.
We can come back to this later.
He showed that during the wife's funeral. That was all you needed. When he talked to Rhaenyra during the wife's funeral,
he loves his brother. I don't think he respects him. That's two different things.
That's what I would say, Angela. I agree with you there. He loves his brother, but he doesn't respect him. Now,
He
he may
didn't say
respect the throne, but I will tell you, I don't think he has that much respect for his brother as a leader.
When he came in drunk and his brother pinned him down, put the knife to his neck. With that knife to his neck, he looked at his brother and says, "You're a weak king." Yeah, you got a knife to your neck. Like, somebody's got a knife to my neck. They're like, "Do you think I'm tough?" I'm like, "Yes, sir, you're tough. You got this knife to my throat. You're whatever the F you want to be." He was so not scared of his brother. He's like, "I'm going to call you weak. You with a knife to my throat. I'm going to call you weak." No. So, all right. We'll move on. So he talks about his legacy, and so we're split on that. But Khaleesi got some love for Viserys, but V and I think he's weak.
But how is he viewed in the future, though? I'm kind of curious.
He's viewed as weak. That's why. Yeah. That's what that whole scene was about. So like the thing about it is the people who wrote that, like Fire and Blood, that what this is based on maesters, and everyone this is the real. This is supposed to be definitive of what happened. And the maesters wrote him as a super weak king. But when I'm looking at it like this dude installed his daughter. Everyone wants him to put a son there. He's not budging his ground on that. There's certain things that he just doesn't budge on. And to me, if he was just this dude that people could easily influence, everyone would influence him. I don't think that people are necessarily influencing him. I think he's doing whatever it takes to kind of keep everyone at bay. That's why none of this stuff is going to kick off, from my opinion, why he's still alive. Because if he was truly weak, it would kick off way earlier.
Well, the whole show is about who's going to be his heir, right?
Yeah, but you guys are already talking about Vince. You and Vince are talking about people killing people for the throne, already. So what difference does it make if they kill him?
I mean,
that's what Rhaenyra was talking about later on. We'll talk about it later on.
I think if he was in good health, then maybe there would be some plots against him. But I think everybody kind of knows that he's on his last legs, especially now, right? So they ain't worried about it. They're just waiting for him to kick the bucket, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, he's been easily manipulated this whole time, so it probably benefited a lot of people for him to be king. That's my opinion. All right, so we get the wedding scene. And this is where, it's been kind of a slow episode, but this wedding is gonna start the apex of some stuff going down. We get the entrances. We see the Lannisters come in. We see our boy Jason Lannister. This boy's always getting clowned, and he's always acting a fool. He's always saying dumb stuff. We're used to Lannisters being clever. Every Lannister was clever. This guy is an idiot, fam. This guy comes up and makes a joke about women not being able to go to war because they're always late, which. Probably got some truth to it, to be honest. But I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Twitter. But he's saying it to the face of the girl who's going to be queen, to the guy that just threatened him when he was talking about trying to propose to her when she lost her station, saying, "Hey, you trying to say Rhaenyra's not going to be queen? Are you playing insurrection?" And he checked this ass, right? And then this dumbass comes up and says the same joke to this guy right after getting threatened. To the point where he's so dumb now, even Viserys just rolls his eyes like, "All right, this guy's an idiot," Yeah, Rhaenyra basically calls him an idiot to his face. Yeah, he don't know how to read. He don't know. He might not know how to read.
Yeah, the House of Lannister was the first. This founding dude was named. Was it like Tywin the Clever? Wasn't that his nickname?
Yeah,
that's what they're playing.
Well, that
makes it even worse. Yeah, that makes it even worse. Yeah, he's an idiot.
I did have a note when they were doing this wedding. The only thing I could think of is how many influencers are going to start doing House of Dragon themed weddings and posting all up their Instagram. That's going to be a thing. Watch. It's going to be a thing.
I don't know, man. I think people are gonna hold off on anything themed from Game of Thrones world, the world of Westeros, after the Khaleesi Daenerys baby debacles until the show's over with, just in case something goes wrong.
Well, hey, listen. As we know, weddings in Game of Thrones don't go well. We're about to see that happen. But before we get to that, before we get to the main moment,
let me ask a quick question. Because right now we're building up.
Vince,
you know the wedding's coming. I'm curious.
Vince, hold your question, man. Don't ever interact with the moderator. I'll mute your ass again.
Whoa!
You might need another shutdown.
My declares is going to be a mute button. No, okay. We want to get some order in here. So I want to make sure we cut it off. There's going to be a moment where it signals the start of stuff going down when somebody walks in the room. So I want to talk about all the stuff that happened prior to that. See if you guys have any thoughts. Vince, you can go ahead and ask your stupid question.
No, it's a great question. I want to ask you guys. When you talk about weddings in Westeros, everybody looks at the red wedding, right? Mm-hmm. Were you guys starting to feel some anticipation as this wedding was coming? Because I was like, oh, hell, we got a wedding coming. I mean, were you guys kind of like the same way as I was?
Yeah, it's a Game of Thrones wedding. You know it's not going to end well.
No, the drama's coming.
Yeah, I
didn't think there was going to be drama, so I wasn't anticipating it like that, but I should have been now that you said that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of feel dumb not even thinking like that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even think, I'll be honest with you. I was in an episode, I was still so shocked at the cuck guy that, you know,
Kristen the cuck.
I always think about that,
Yeah, I mean, they did have me vacillating a little bit because, you know, when we get to this, we'll just go ahead and mention the scene. So
has there been a happy wedding in Game of Thrones?
Not that I know of.
No.
I mean, I guess the closest would be Rob getting that shotgun wedding with his woman, and the wedding was happy. Now the afterwards, yeah. Yeah,
that's it. That would be it, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I guess the official wedding was going to be the red wedding, right? That's when they were going to have the official wedding. So they got the shotgun wedding where they exchanged vows.
No, the red wedding was the dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's the only one. That's the only one that had any sort of happiness, but it didn't have the happy ending.
Sansa and Tyrion?
Yeah. Isn't that the one with Joffrey?
But that's where Joffrey died.
Yeah. I was sitting back waiting on the wedding, man. I was like, it's going down.
Purple wedding. That's the purple wedding. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead.
I forgot that happened at that one. I thought Joffrey was getting married at that wedding for some reason. Go ahead.
Let's get to the jumping off point to where we also start getting the signs that things are going to start going out. Because it did have me vacillating a little bit, Aaron. So we'll get to that in a second. Alicent shows up, and she lets it be known she wants all the smoke. She interrupts the king during his speech. She's not there. She shows up right when he's making a speech, cuts him off. He's at a loss for words seeing her. Like, this bitch? Really? And she's wearing green. And we don't know what that means. Some of us know what that means. We read the source material. The audience in general doesn't know what that means, but they make sure to tell us, hey, listen.
They spoon feed it, don't they?
Yeah. When House Hightower wants to rally their bannermen, when they're ready to go to war, what color do they wear? What color is on that tower? It's green. And so she shows up wearing a green dress. It means she is ready for war. Give me all the smoke! Right?
Yeah.
And she shows up and she has a little frigid exchange with her former BFF Rhaenyra, and it's on now. And that's when we start seeing people kind of start taking sides. And I thought for a second, well, maybe this is just going to be the setup. Maybe this is just they're just going to show us who's getting to what side, and we're going to start seeing some momentum be built, and maybe it'll take off next episode. Of course, that doesn't end up happening. So, what were your thoughts about Alicent showing up in the green, and tell me what you thought about that scene? Vince, we'll start with you.
I watched enough television shows to know you don't show up the bride. I've had a wedding, and I kind of know you don't show up late, and you don't come off as looking better than the bride. She did both. If you want to talk about an act of war, that might have been an act of war back then. It's an act of war right now. Women understand. This right here, hey, you just drew first blood, bitch. That's what's going on right here in that episode. You don't show up late, and you don't come in dressed better than the bride. She did both at my wedding. Let's be real. It's going down.
I mean, I didn't know she was dressed better than the bride, but you might be expert on that field more than I am. I mean, I just know that she wore that dress with that color. She didn't. Yo, you definitely don't do this. Also, for those of you, I've never been married, but I've been a part of some weddings. When the wife picks a color scheme, the bride-to-be picks a color scheme, you can't be showing up in a different color if you're a bridesmaid, right?
Thanks.
So she definitely stepping out of pocket in more ways than one,
man.
right?
Yeah, only you two would come with that angle to that.
Hey man, that's facts, bro. I'm telling you.
Y'all may be right. Like I said,
Women know
you
that,
two,
dude.
y'all
Women
may
know.
be-
That was a
it's-
message, dude. She's sending a message with that.
Yeah.
It's obvious that you two recognized a lot more of the trepidation during this wedding than me. Like I said, episode was ruined when the guy snitched on himself, dog. For me, I was like, what is going on? But
We
with
did
being
skip that
said-
scene. We did skip that scene. So let's go back. We still got some time. We're making good time. So prior to all this,
We did skip it, didn't we? Yeah.
yeah. So the reason Allison shows up wearing green, wants all the smoke, she's still torn. She still doesn't know whether to believe Rhaenyra or her father. Right, the two closest people to her on different sides of a coin, and she's stuck in the middle. Right, like Jimmy Buffett. So, isn't he the one that sang? No, he might not be the one that sang that song. Anyway, so, well, she decides, you know what, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's call up the knight, and maybe he'll answer my questions. I don't know what gives her the idea that the knight that's loyal to Rhaenyra is gonna answer her inquiry. Maybe she thinks, hey, he's honorable, he's a knight. She's still a little bit naive at this point, right? So she calls Kristen, and she tries to phrase it softly. She doesn't come out and say, hey, did Rhaenyra boink her cousin? So in phrasing it softly, Kristen the cuck, he kind of dumb too. He dumb pretty boy. He thinks, well, she obviously knows about me and Rhaenyra. And so instead of letting her finish, he says it happened. And you see her pause, and she thinks at first, oh, he's saying that Daemon and Rhaenyra happened, but then he says, I am the one that took the queen's virtue. And then basically throws himself at her feet for mercy, which of course speaks to her heart, because I think we have learned that Alicent's not a bad person, you know?
Huh?
Alicent is not a bad person.
I wouldn't say that, but it is what it is.
I mean, you can definitely make a case that she did basically, mount her BFF's dad.
No one's really a bad person in this show.
She's not a terrible person though. Yeah, she's not trying to take advantage of him.
Everyone, she definitely took advantage of the king. You know what I'm saying? She definitely.
No, not Kristen. She's not trying to take advantage of Kristen.
Why would you call him in there if she wasn't?
Yeah, as I said, yeah.
What I'm saying is, she could have sentenced him to death. She could have done all the other stuff, but she's not going to do this. She's not that type of person. Like after she got the confession from him, she's not going to try and make his life harder than it is.
I'm an ass. I'm just not brutal. I think that's what we're saying.
Well, I mean, but also she's probably playing it close to her chest, though. You know what I'm saying?
Like if she was a real schemer, if this was her dad would have immediately got inspiration. Been like, so Kristen Cole, your life and your family's life is in my hands. So I need you to remember that. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm not going to take this out on you. I'm not going to take this out on your family. I understand things happen. You're dismissed. Just remember I did you that favor. He'd sow those seeds. She doesn't play it like that, right? She just dismisses.
I think that was understood.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how she played it. Yeah,
I thought that was understood.
I think she understood. She got the chess piece, man. So why would she? You know what I'm saying? She's just playing it close to her chest right now.
And I got a dude that's gonna be this close to the queen, and that is now my pawn. I can do what I ever want.
Well, it didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn out that way at the end, did it? Right?
No,
it did.
It did. So we let's get back on track. Let's go back to the wedding. So we see the dancing. We get some which
is another double entendre, the dance of the dragons and all that stuff.
Yeah. We get some more incest vibes, right? We get Daemon making moves on yet another young blood relative. Making moves on the sister.
Way, man.
The other girl, she was trying to get at Daemon, wasn't she?
But he's trying to get at her too.
He?
I think he likes a certain type. He likes to be related by blood.
I think she made it clear she was trying to get at him, and he was just like, he just going along with it. But yeah, I thought she was. I was just thinking like, damn, she's pushing hard for this one. Okay.
But he goes up to her first. He walks up to her. Now I think it's mutual. Mutual. Like, I think she would, and he would, but I think he would because I think he likes a certain type. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He likes to push buttons, and he's clearly when he goes up to Rhaenyra, he looks back at the king. And he wants to make sure the king is watching.
Oh, I want to see your reaction. You're talking about Rhaenyra. I was talking about Corlys' daughter.
No, Corlys' daughter as well. Yeah, no. I start out with that. Like, he definitely starts out with her and makes his way over to Rhaenyra, and he's looking back at the dad to get a certain reaction. Of course, while that's going on, Laenor is talking to his boy, his man, and his man notices the vibes between Kristen and Rhaenyra, and he puts 2 and 2 together. And he's like, these two are smashing.
Yeah.
I know these two are smashing. And calls Rhaenyra over, and he's like, hey, listen. Just in case you're worried, in case she's got some dirt on you, because she knows who you be smashing. She knows it's me. Well, now I got the skinny. I got the 401. Check this out. I'm pretty sure her and the knight are hooking up. Her and her knight are hooking up. What do you think about that? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. Whatever. You know? I'm like, all right, good for you. But he doesn't. He's happy with himself. He's like, he is besides himself. He is just so delighted that he figured this out, that he wants to go push the issue. And he's going to go up to it. So Kristen Cole, who was in his feelings. Kristen Cole is Drake right before he's about to rump out. Kristen Cole is Drake after Rihanna, all right?
Yeah,
that's where he is right now. He about to write an album about breakup. And he's plotting the verses, he's plotting the heartache, he's plotting the videos, and then all of a sudden, just like what's his Meek Mill, you know, this dude rolls up, fires off a tweet at the wrong time, and Kristen Cole decides his back-to-back is going to be the back of his hand. And it happens.
Yeah, he beat him down,
man. You muted yourself.
He beat him down. You're muted.
I like the way they did, though, because it kind of played like a real fight scene where, like, they didn't show it go down. They just showed the chaos from people's point of view at the table. Like, see all the knights filling out, see a bunch of stuff happening. You don't know exactly what's happening until much later when he started beating him down on the floor. So what did you guys think about that scene?
I thought it was a brutal beatdown. I'm kind of surprised that he lived after he punched Corlys' son in his castle and got away with it, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, he punched Corlys' son and he killed his lover. So I don't know if it's in the open. Do people know it's his lover? I was confused. I was like, is that guy noble? Like, is he of anyone of status? He must not have been, because that's the only way he gets out of it without getting beheaded right then and there, without the King's guards coming in and slicing him up. I don't know. Vince, what did you think about that scene?
I just took Kristen the Cuck was utterly ridiculous in this scene. I mean, for the last 30 minutes of the show, this dude was a bumbling idiot, chasing after a woman that doesn't want him, offering oranges. Now he goes to her wedding, spoils the wedding, jumps on another dude for peeping game in his ear. And I mean, I don't even understand. We talk motivation about this whole show. What is this dude's motivation? Is he having a psychotic break?
Exactly.
All of a sudden, he's just acting crazy. And, you think of a knight as someone who's controlled, who's disciplined. Obviously, he is none of those things. This dude is just off his marbles, bro. And it's time. I mean, he's one of those characters.
All right, before he lost his V card, he was a good knight. He did beat Daemon in the tournament. He was the only knight. The reason she chose him was a good reason.
He beat Daemon because Daemon was celebrating. Let's be real, man. You know what I'm saying? Daemon turned his back to him. Yeah, he did, but you know what happened. We saw it.
Hey, that's Daemon's fault. Yo, you lost. You a loser, I'm a winner. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, records is all that people show, all that people see. So, like, the reason she picked him, though, was a good reason. He was the only Kingsguard knight, or the only guy that was one of the candidates that actually had war experience. The rest were sons of nobles that probably didn't know the first thing about fighting. And as we see, this dude knows how to be a killer, right? He can beat somebody with his bare hands, literally kill them with his bare hands, right? And he was fine. He was a fine knight until he lost his V card. And then the girl that hey, listen, it happens to a lot of guys, right? They lose the V card. That first girl that gets them, puts their head in a tailspin.
Not like this.
Yeah, it happens to some dudes. It might not happen to you.
Is extreme.
Yeah, this dude is all the way extreme, man. He's all the way extreme. And just because you don't want to be a boy toy, you acting out at my wedding? Come on, bro. Have a little decorum about yourself.
He thought he was going to get married to this girl.
And you're snitching.
He thought he was going to wife her.
Everything.
You do everything. And here's the crazy thing. Right before that, so when I heard the commotion at first, I will say this. I thought Daemon was starting to kill people because you remember Rhaenyra was messing with him like, okay, you want me so bad. Show me you want me. Yeah. Cut everyone down, you know what I'm saying, and take me right now and go. You know, she knows he's not going to do it, so she's just like basically calling him out like, look, you can talk all this, like I'm this fire guy and I'll do what I want. Do it right now, show me. And when it started doing the commotion at first, I was like, oh man, he's actually trying to start something. And then no, it was Kristen the Cuck, you know.
Yeah, I did think it was pretty
doing
bold for
Kristen.
Rhaenyra to put her sexual tension with the homeboy on display in front of everybody in this party. It's supposed to be at her wedding, you know. Granted, her husband is gay, but nobody else knows that except for her and her husband and their parents, his parents, you know.
But she's
His
about
lover, I
18
guess.
years old now, right? About 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not out of character for an 18-year-old to do something like that. I was all the way with that she's putting people on blast and people get to perceive her business. So that I didn't think that was too.
well, here's the thing: is
Right,
though she's
word.
been portrayed as being incredibly competent, except for when it comes to love, right? Because everything else, every other situation where she's had to step up and make a decision, she's made the right decision until it came to this. You know, Damon, as they like I said, they phrased it in the featurette last week.
Every
Damon,
other decision she's made. No. When she goes to the whorehouse with Damon, that was obviously
what
a
did I
bad
just say,
decision.
man? What did I just say? You
No,
listen.
you said except for love. There was no love involved.
I said until it came to love, right?
That's not love though. That was carnal flesh, bro.
She's just
It's
reckless.
the
No,
same thing,
She's
Vince.
being reckless. Yeah, she's being
reckless.
reckless.
Once
This shows
again,
us
when it came to
the-
this,
the
when
first-
it came to whatever you want to call it, carnal love, carnal
No,
sex, whatever,
looking
it's
back
we're
at
all
it, the
saying the
first-
same thing. You arguing semantics.
Looking back at it now, the first scene we're introduced to her mom said that she didn't really want her flying dragons like that and all that stuff at that age. She's just a reckless girl who does what she wants. It's being reframed now. So they introduced this one way, now it's being reframed. Like when she even her flying up there and stopping Damon from killing Otto Hightower to get the dragon egg back she handled it, but it's an extremely reckless move at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I see what you're saying, but she's actually, I can see people on the other end of the fence saying she's showing reasons why she wouldn't be a good queen. I can actually see that argument now.
Okay,
Where
that's a fair
before
point.
I
That's
could
fair.
never see that argument.
I think because Viserys is such a dickless king that I think. I mean, listen, we know this is going to go to war. Like, if you go to war, you want Viserys or you want Rhaenyra?
That's the whole point. You're not going to war with Viserys, and Viserys is taking the brunt. That's why he's so stressed out. He's taking the brunt of all the BS, so there is no war. If it was any other king, they would have been at war for all this other stuff. That's the whole point of. That's why he asked about his legacy. He's sitting there thinking like, "Is everything I'm doing good?" And everyone's looking at him like, "Oh,
I
you're
can't
being
help
weak.
but
You
think
should do
that
this
if
way,
this
that
dude had
way."
never been
But
king,
he's
if he just,
he's standing 10 toes down, and there's not a war right now.
I
Period.
can't help but think
I
of
want
this.
whoever's on Damon's side, or I want Damon.
Well, here's the thing. I think
I
if
want
I think
whoever
if,
got the dragons.
I think if
Damon has
Rhaenys,
dragons.
I think if Rhaenys had been named queen, maybe she's stronger, and then we don't have all this. We don't have to worry about all this, right? Maybe she's a stronger queen, and maybe the reason that we're getting all this plotting about what happens when he goes down is because people don't replace him now because they know they can play him, and they got the king in the palm of their hands.
No, it's because it's the heir thing. Also, like if,
Well, I mean,
if
we
his
see
wife,
him
if
get
his
played.
wife had that son, if his wife had the son in the first episode, none of this would even be happening right now. You know
Well,
what I'm
even
saying?
the first
He has
first
he has
small council
complete
meeting, we
control.
see him in. He's not able to make a tough decision though.
That's a hell of a decision, though, man. He
The
made
first,
a decision. He
that's
made
about
a
the
decision.
stepstones, right? That's the first small council meeting we see him where basically Corlys is like, listen, my fleet is getting wrecked. It affects the good of the kingdom. We need you to give us some help. And
His
he's like,
fleet wasn't getting. The supply lines were getting disrupted.
yeah, but
That's what
still,
it
I
was.
mean, that's for the good of the kingdom, right? It's a free city. It's like you should have no problem being like, yeah, I'll send some dragons out. We'll take care of this. We'll clean it up. Like, free cities are messing with us. Who do they think I am? Like,
Even if
listen, think about this. You're the king, and some other kingdom is messing with your ships from your family members,
Hey,
and you're gonna
Anshul,
sit back and be like, yeah, man,
Hey,
like
Anshul,
I ain't gonna do it.
Russia invaded Ukraine and then messing with our supply line and oil and wheat right now. We're dealing with.
I'm not asking
inflation.
about Russia and
No,
Ukraine.
what
I'm
I'm
asking about
saying
Aaron the
is-
King.
what
Yo,
I'm
Aaron the
saying
King.
is
Aaron the King, what are
sometimes-
you doing?
No, what I'm saying is sometimes why start a war? Why go to it? At that point in time, he saw it as an unnecessary war. And then he later on, when they're like, hey, this is getting a little bit out of control, we need to go ahead and take care of this now. Then as soon as he realized that he had to go to war, he immediately said, we're going to war. And then Damon was
Yeah,
like,
but he
no,
held
you
off
don't
for a
need your help
long
now.
time because of pettiness with his brother.
No, it had nothing to do with his brother. His brother went to
His
war and
brother
started the war.
sent him letters
Corlys
asking for
asked
help.
him.
That's why he got pissed when he finally sent help.
I just think he's trying to be a peaceful king, man. That's just my personal opinion.
Hold on just a second. Aaron, you said something. You said none of this even happens if his original wife had a son. I'm going to give you a little pushback because I think Damon is the guy who sets a lot of this stuff in motion, man. I mean, he's like the Joker from Batman. He's like an agent of chaos, bro.
He does.
Huh.
He is.
As long as you have him, he's the driving point for a lot of the stuff that goes on. And if it wouldn't have been right now, between this episode, it would have been something else because Damon's gonna start some shit. He's a classic shit.
And I think that's what makes him weak.
Nothing you can do.
Once again,
Like-
he doesn't
like
respect
how,
his brother.
though?
He doesn't respect his
how?
brother.
How?
Well, you
Like-
said
like
this all started. A lot of what's going on now is a result of her not having a son. I'll say
Everything.
a direct
Everything.
correlation. Now you can blame everything, but I'm just saying a direct correlation is, Damon deciding that he was going to take her to the brothel is one of the primary reasons that we're here at
they
this
just phrase
right
that
now.
in the featurette. They called her sexual awakening, and that's what.
Well, no. But listen to what you just said, Rusty. Now you're contradicting yourself though, because if Damon started everything, then the dad was mad. Then the dad was wrong when he told the daughter, like, "Hey, she's
Well,
gonna
here-
kill everyone." Yeah.
Here's
Like-
another
like-
thing. Go
Okay.
on. I was gonna
Okay,
say
you
another
go.
way you could say that's all Damon's fault is if Damon wasn't an idiot and wasn't crazy, he would have been named the heir. Varys would have had no problems naming the heir, and I think he would have even considered it until Damon went to the brothel and talked that noise about his dead son, king for a day.
He
right?
didn't talk bad. He's just Damon. It's just
You're
the way
still
he
dumb
said
for saying it. You're dumb
Yeah,
for
he
saying
shouldn't.
it.
Well, how it got back to the king. Otto, see, this is what I'm saying. Otto Hightower and all the way it goes. If the son lived, none of this would happen. That's what I'm saying right now. Even the king for a day stuff wouldn't happen.
But hey,
all
listen,
that other stuff.
if because let's say even if he didn't mean it like that, he still will respect his brother enough to say, "Yo, I didn't mean it like that." His brother gave him a chance.
because he knew that it's not that he didn't respect his brother. He didn't respect Otto Hightower. He knew exactly where it came
Still,
from.
speak up for yourself. If you don't mean it like that, you didn't mean it like that. Tell me you didn't mean it like that. He had
He
every
said it.
chance to
He
say
did
it.
say that. He said we mourn in different ways.
Come on, man. He he didn't deny it, right? He could have denied it. His brother
And
basically
lie?
wanted to give him a
Why
chance.
lie?
His brother's been giving him chances. He's the fuck up brother. His brother's been giving him chances, and he don't take those chances. He wants to push buttons. He wants to push the issue. He's always trying to push his brother's buttons. Even at the wedding, he's trying to push his brother's buttons, man. Because his brother, he don't fear his brother. Now, if he feared his brother, he ain't trying to push nothing.
I think in this showdown,
most little brothers don't fear their older brothers in that type of way because they know the older brothers are always going to ride with the little brother no matter what. Little brothers always push older brothers' buttons.
We know
Period.
there's some.
That is a fact of life right there. Plain simple. Period.
in
It's
this,
not even
in this
argument.
showdown,
It's not even
sorry,
argument.
but Cleasy, you're 0-2 today.
I won. I definitely won. Look, how did I lose?
Yo,
it's obvious.
you know
If
what?
the
We'll let
son
the
was
fans
born,
decide. We'll let the
if the
fans
son
decide.
lived, Damon can't make the speech. Otto Hightower can't send the list
All
to the room. That's the catalyst to all this. If the son was born, there's no argument to that. The line of
All right,
success
well,
is
Eric,
set.
We got to move
End of
on.
story.
We will let the fans decide. We'll let the fans decide. They can comment. You
The
can.
fans
you-
didn't decide nothing.
why,
I won,
why,
damn it.
why are you pleading to us? We think you're 0-2. You're the only person. It's
Y'all get off that crack y'all smoking over there, man. Bunch of
yo,
misogynists,
man. We'll let the
Because,
fans
yo,
know
man,
below.
This is-
Fans,
This
yo,
is-
fans,
this is how
yo,
y'all treat
fans,
me,
you
man.
too. Go ahead and comment below. Tell us that Aaron
This is
lost,
how
and
y'all
he
treat
can live with it. He can live with the
No,
results.
no,
of the
I
truth.
won. I
All right.
obviously won.
Yo, while you
I
won,
obviously won.
we did forget a point though. We did forget a very important plot point. Sir Gerald Royce, the brother or he's related to Lady Rhea, who was murdered at the beginning by Daemon. He comes up and he first of all he tries to talk to the king, and I think he wants to tell the king straight up, hey, listen, we're here for Lady Rhea. I'm glad you warned her, but we think your brother killed her. What are you gonna do about that? Before he can say that, he gets interrupted by I think the Lannisters come in, and then later on he goes and he confronts Daemon, and he does step into the mouth of the viper, only to get bit because he gets reminded real quick. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. My wife is dead. Damn, you know what? I just remembered something. I get all her shit. What you gonna do about that, man? What you gonna do about that, son, huh? I get all her shit. That scene, man, I laughed so hard at that
Oh
scene.
yeah,
What
it's
did you guys
so
think about that
funny.
scene?
It's so ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous. What do you think, Vince? What do you think about
Hey
that?
man, I think Damon is a G, bro. That's all you can say about it. When he opens his mouth, I mean, he starts spitting game to that dude. You just actually laughing on your couch like, I love this dude. I love it. If you love the Mac growing up, you love watching Damon. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, that's so funny, man. David was like, "Yeah, we gotta talk about our inheritance." He's like, "What? What do you mean our inheritance?" He's like, "Well, we didn't have any heirs, so
Yeah.
Everything goes to me, right? It's me, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was so funny. And of course, we end it with a shotgun wedding because Viserys is like, wedding got wrecked. Kristen Cole, well, actually, we should say before that, Kristen Cole walks off. He's about to kill himself. He's about to do seppuku like he a Japanese samurai. And also, Alicent comes up at the end. And so now we know. So this is why I told you. Remember, you, or Aaron, you had asked me about Sir Kristen Cole being on Rhaenyra's side. And I said, well, hold up. That's because I knew that in the history books, Kristen Cole is on Alicent's side. She's one of Alicent's. She's on the green side. This is where that relationship gets locked in. He picks his side. He picks whose team he's on. He's Team Alicent all the way now, and we get to see the origin of that. And then after that, we flash the wedding. Now it's shotgun wedding style because Viserys is like, "Damn it! I threw this party. We're gonna finish this party. Somebody's getting married. I paid for all this shit. I paid for catering. Y'all ain't gonna have me pay for catering and not have anybody get married." And so basically, Laenor and Rhaenyra exchange vows tearfully because both of them are crestfallen at what happened.
Because her lover killed his lover.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna make for
interesting.
Some interesting
Wedding night from hell.
Yeah, brunch talk the next morning. That's some shit. So we gonna talk about what happened last night? How you like to have that? So we gonna talk about what happened last night conversation.
All right.
Yeah. Rhaenyra's gonna be like, I need you to stop crying, dude.
Yeah. He can be like, stop crying. We had a deal. Yeah. We were both about to have some booty calls. My booty call gets his face smashed in. What you mean stop crying? Now I gotta go find another booty call, you know? He'll be all right though, I think, in the long run. So that is the wrap up for this episode. We got a few minutes left. Anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Yeah, before we get to the ratings.
Before we wrap it up, like Sir Kristen Cole should have wrapped it up, so they didn't have to take that tea. None of this would have happened.
That's ridiculous. One thing, like I said, this episode, man, one thing I want to say is that I want to bring up something that Vince brought up, actually. Just ask Vince a question about it. Vince, what do you think of the rats and the rat and stuff about the show? What do you think of that? What's your feelings on that symbolism?
Well, I think the rats are coming out for blood. The rats are coming for blood because the rat was kind of eating blood, drinking blood. So I think that's what we're saying. The rats are coming for blood. That's all the people that are in here that are coming for the crown. They're coming for it, and they're coming for blood. They don't care if blood gets spilled to achieve it. You know, I think a lot of the whole Game of Thrones universe, it's not just about ascending to the throne. It's also about being able to keep the throne. If you think about that first one, you know, we started with Robert Baratheon.
Hey, your green screen fell down.
Mm-hmm, I got you.
Okay, go ahead, Vince. Sorry.
Okay, we went from Robert Baratheon, we went to Joffrey, we went to Tamon, we went to Cersei, we went to Dany. I mean, it's not just about getting the throne, it's about keeping the throne. And as of right now, every rat in the village is coming out for that throne, and we've set the table for it. Now it's time for those rats to dine. What about yourself? What do you think?
I think that's the best way to explain it. That's probably the most thoughtful thing that you said since we started talking about the show. And I think that we officially started playing the Game of Thrones with her showing up in the green dress. I think the game finally started at that moment.
That is the official start to the Game of Thrones.
We took it from there.
Yeah, we got Rats in the Nest. Yeah. And we got Who's a Master. We got another live episode locked in. So
let's get the ratings going real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Since Aaron is 0-2 his arguments, we're going to save Aaron for last. Losers go last. You didn't win a single Shogun Showdown, so you're last. Vince, we respect our senior citizens on this podcast, so we'll let you go first.
Well, that would be you, Ansel. What are we talking about?
You're the old man.
Seriously though, I would rate it a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh my God! You gave us a 6?
I gave it a 6, bro. I mean, there's nothing special about this particular episode.
Dog.
I mean, the wedding.
Dog. The Rise of Skywalker. You saw the Rise of Skywalker. We asked you to rate it. You gave it a 6. You're saying this is Rise of Skywalker.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, I was anticipating a lot more in the wedding because of the red wedding. It built up a lot of anticipation in me. What he said when he was saying that he thought Daemon was killing people, I was like, well, damn, that would have been even much better. That would have been a much better episode.
Got their face
if he had done
smashed in, and we saw it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, how many people died in the Purple Wedding? How many people died in the Purple Wedding?
Once again, that was not the shock value. There was not any of that. I thought they set up for a pretty big wedding extravaganza that was going to leave us all with our minds blown. And I did not leave that episode.
You've been watching too much Real Housewives.
Because
you think every wedding's going to be super drama filled? Somebody died.
I give it a 6. Sorry, Anshul.
All right, Anshul, what's your rating?
It's all about the wedding, sir.
Listen, I'm not going to say this episode is the strongest episode. I thought it ended on a strong note, though. Because it did, for a little while, like I said, Aaron, like, when the wedding started, I was like, oh, it's going to pop off. And then we saw some of the layering happen with some of the dialogue and some of the, like I said, sides getting picked. And I was like, okay, maybe this is just going to be a setup episode. And that's fine, because you need those every once in a while. It's part of what made Game of Thrones great. But then once again, they lulled us to sleep just to deliver a fist strike to a skull at the end. So I'm not going to say it's got the glow for this episode. I think it's really close. I'm going to say it's like a 7.8. It just quite didn't have enough for it to have the glow, but it's glow adjacent, right?
Yeah. I would say that it's not an 8 either. I'm going to go a little bit below. I liked all the acting in it. Viserys, that dude's a beast in the show. I like the girls, even though they kind of put my homegirl Rhaenyra in the background and Daemon in the background in this episode. But I hated Kristen Cole's character turn. It didn't make sense to me. It felt like these writers didn't know, like what George R.R. Martin did. He made things happen so smoothly, like it was like natural. You would have these plot twists, like, you know, decisions mattered, and his just seemed out of nowhere. So I'm going to give it about a 7.5. But I do want to say this to you guys. So when they released the spoilers to this show, or the screeners to this show, they released the first 6 episodes. So if you watch anyone who's seen the first 6 episodes, what everyone always said was like the first 5 episodes are good, but episode 6 is, that's where they cut it off. No one knows what happens after episode 6. They're not even giving advanced critics that knowledge. But every single person who saw the first 6 episodes says something. I don't know if it's a shock twist, but they said this is the episode where everyone's going to be hooked on it. So just want to throw that out there.
All right, yeah. Well, we do get the actors to change, right? We're losing Millie Alcock, and I'm sad to see that, man. This girl needs to get some roles.
She gets some roles, but I think that, you know, at first I didn't think that. I thought they're going to have big shoes to fill, but I think the mature actresses, you know, I think they're about to kill it, man. I think they're about to come in and change the game.
Olivia Cook's a G. Yeah. She's legit, right? The girl who's going to be
playing.
Is it
Ready Player One? That's all I know her from, right? It's Ready Player One girl, right?
Yeah, but I've seen her in a couple of things. I can't recall exactly what off the top of my head, but she's good. She's good. So yeah, man, like we'll see what happens in episode 6. I mean, basically, like you said, dude, kids, when you are trying to get a girl to give up their kingdom, okay, you gotta step up with more game than fruits. All right, I don't want to hear no oranges, apples, avocados, because it's technically a fruit. You got none of that. Like, you got to step up with some real game. And so, if for all you who are looking for a player to look up to, it's definitely not Kristen Cuck, right?
Yeah, no, it's not that. Another thing, kids, just always remember this: you're always gonna have haters in your life, but when you know that you won victory with absolute, you know, demolishing defeat like I did today in the Samurai Showdowns, keep your head up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. And for the ladies out there, last lesson: if you're at a wedding,
hold up. So, okay, go ahead.
Do not.
Do not what?
The dude hit the mute button.
I'm confused. What happened? Do not.
He said don't show up the bride, which is definitely good advice. Don't ever show up the bride.
I figured that. All right, cool. All right.
Yeah. We'll end that on that. So Confucius say, don't ever show up the bride. We all know that what really matters is what Shonuff says, and Shonuff says, what he asks, who's the master? Thank you for joining us. Till next time. Till next week. We out. Peace.
Peace.